Well, hey, there you are, Sonia here. Welcome to Out Here on the Farm. We're going to take a little ride back into about 30 years ago on an old country dusty road, and the woods is all around. It's a beautiful scenic route. And we're just going to go for a little ride and just enjoy the wind blowing in the windows of the car and feel the freedom as we ride along. We're not in a hurry. We're going to take our time on this trip. And as we go up and down the hills out there, as we travel on the west side of the road stands a structure of a strong old building. The paint has long since been gone and it's turned gray, but yet, taking a closer look, it's a solid old building. It's beautiful, and I can imagine the years that it was constructed back in the Pioneer Church days, how beautiful it must have been standing up there, welcoming all that wanted to attend. The horse and the buggies, the wagons, all parked along the outside of the building. And so we decided to drive up the driveway and take a closer look. Walked up on the porch and turned the doorknob, and it was unlocked. So we opened up the door and walked in, and it was beautiful inside there. Oh, it was faded and gray, yet the benches was still there, the pulpit was still there, and even the little Sunday school attendance sign was still hanging on the wall. And we walked in, and my daughter said to me, "Mom, here's your church." And I walked up to the platform and stepped up there, standing behind the desk. And I looked out into the building, and I could visualize in my mind people sitting out there. They came to worship and to sing and to hear the old-fashioned preacher, and how it must have been a thriving community at one time, how the people looked forward to gathering together. There wasn't TVs back then, and internet, cell phones. There was just personal communication with one another. They cared about one another, helped one another, supported one another. And as I stood there, I just recalled this old structure of a building is probably somewhat like my grandmother used to preach in. I never got to hear her preach, but I got to experience some of the things that she more than likely felt while she was ministering, and I could just visualize in my mind. And I want you to visualize in your mind going back into time like that at a slower time, a more simpler time, where people trusted one another, cared for one another, and they had wonderful celebrations and fellowship. And as I stood there, I really hated leaving because it was longing to have life back in it again, for the people to come back and visit. It was sitting there waiting for all the community to come back and have a fellowship, sing song. The melodies of the songs was in the air still. And as we get into the car, pulling out the driveway, taking one last look, I'm sure it's still there because, like I said, it was a very strong building. They built them solid then. We drove away, and my mind started working upon that old building. And I went home, and I sat down, and I wrote a song. And it started out, "Let's open the doors of the country church again," where Grandma used to pray, and the Spirit would descend. These times that have been foundations for us, that encourages us that, we can have a more simpler time in our life. We can get a time of just peace and refuge and comfort. And memories can become so vivid. Times that people lived and have long since gone. Their memories are still here. They left the building, and the building waited. I'm so glad you stopped here out on the farm. It's been a pleasure to talk with you, and I look forward to the next time. And so, until next time, open the doors of the country church again, where Grandma used to pray, and the Spirit would descend. Dust off our Bibles and read them once again. Let's open the doors of the country church again. A solid old foundation just needs a few repairs. She just needs a little fixin' with some tender loving care. We could call ourselves a meeting and all gather in. Let's open the doors of the country church again.